launching of a project to support the growth of NCAA Division I men's and women's hockey programs by funding and promoting feasibility studies which will explore the potential of adding D1 college hockey programs around the United States. Penn State University added a D1 program for both men and women in hockey in the 2012-2013 season, and the men's program has already achieved great success in its short history by being ranked #1 during the 2016-2017 season. This program was made possible with a generous donation by the Pegula family. Terry Pegula is up here and will speak shortly, exemplifying, and I don't know a better way to show it, the great support and passion that NBA owners have to grow hockey. This initiative demonstrates the NHL's support of the growth of men's and women's college hockey at the D1 level, and we are looking to help incentivize and raise awareness for schools that may be interested in adding a D1 hockey program. And what we found is where high-level hockey is established, what also happens is youth hockey and participation also follow as well. And by expanding our footprint of hockey at all levels for elite programs, we can inspire new players and parents to join the hockey family. And by working to expand the number of D1 programs, we hope to grow the game of hockey at all levels and increase participation and interest in the game, both on and off the ice. We, meaning the league and the Players Association, have joined in this endeavor and have agreed to commit funds through the Industry Growth Fund, which is financing this initiative. The IGF, as the Industry Growth Fund is known, was established and created to enhance fans' experiences with hockey, and by supporting and collaborating with college hockey, we think that fundamentally comes within that mandate. We want to continue to ensure the growth and sustainability of our game across the United States and give more players an opportunity to not just play the game, but to also get an education. The NCAA develops tremendous talent, and expanding the number of schools participating at the D1 level for us is a no-brainer. I believe 32% of NHL players played NCAA hockey. That's from the players this year, including 15 players on the Stanley Cup champion Penguins. In addition, NCAA expansion of hockey programs will create more opportunities for young hockey players of all ages, skills, and genders, because that will provide more access to facilities, equipment, and role models. For example, in Huntsville, Alabama, which has the University of Alabama, Huntsville, they created a youth hockey program in the community with approximately 700 active players, and that's a function of the fact that there's a university program there as well. And so while we're here on the eve of the draft in Chicago, can you imagine the same effect that would happen in Illinois if there were more D1 programs here? And so in that vein, it's not surprising that the first school to step up and avail itself of the opportunity to go through an analysis and a feasibility study is the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and we are excited at the prospect that this feasibility study will lead to a program ultimately and will hopefully encourage other schools, not just in Illinois, but around the country, to do the same. And by having college hockey programs at the elite level, it encourages other opportunities, not just for players, but for coaches, student assistants, media officials, trainers, people interested in the business of hockey as well. So we think this is a win-win. We think it's a great opportunity to continue to grow the game. I want to give a special shout out to Kevin Westgarth, who on behalf of the NHL was intimately involved in spearheading this effort. We think it's exciting. We think it's a way for us to give back and continue to help grow the game, and it's something that we get to do with the Players Association as well. So from that standpoint, I think it's all good. And with that, Mathieu Schneider, the executive assistant to this, the special assistant to the executive director, will say a few words. Thanks.
I have the longest title in hockey, and I still don't know what it means. Thanks, Gary. I just want to touch on where Gary left off here, and I think there's a couple of things that have flown under the radar, in my opinion, initiatives that we've worked on together. One of them is the Hockey Summit that Pat LaFontaine organized and put together that has stakeholders from across every level of hockey throughout North America, which has been, I think, a catalyst in part for this. The second thing is the Industry Growth Fund. The Industry Growth Fund, I would say, is directly responsible for us being here today. We announced the Learn to Play program at the All-Star Game this year, which has been a huge success in its first year. It's no coincidence that it was, I believe, Pat Kelleher is in the room, the new executive director of USA Hockey, the biggest year ever for 8 and under registration in USA Hockey. I don't think there's any coincidence that's the first year of the Learn to Play across all 30 clubs in the NHL. So it's a very exciting time. Obviously, it's been a very exciting couple of weeks for the NHL, having turned Nashville into a tremendous hockey town. University of Illinois seems like a natural fit. There's no question about it. I think you know, there's no reason to stop there, but it's a beginning. I think it's very important to point out that Terry was a groundbreaker here, and maybe not for the great success of his program, we might not be having this conversation either. So we're very proud of all the work that we've been able to do. We're very proud we're able to represent this great game, and we're committed to growing it together. So thank you very much. And I'd like to hand it over to John McDonough, President and CEO.
Thank you. I'd first like to caution everybody, today people are getting traded left and right, so just be aware. You never know where this could end up.
You're working with something?
It's a great day, and we talk about potential, about where this could lead us, and we're honored to support the efforts of the NHL, the Industry Growth Fund, the University of Illinois, as we explore the possibility of adding Division I hockey. The University of Illinois is a prestigious academic institution. The athletic programs are in very capable hands under Director of Athletics Josh Whittman. We've had the opportunity to meet with Josh 2 or 3 times, and every time you're around Josh, you feel that energy that he's on a mission to try to get this done. And we heard the good news that the NHL was going to participate. It inspired everybody. There are currently more than 32,000 people, 32,000 kids playing youth hockey in the state of Illinois, which represents a staggering growth increase over the last 10 years. Additionally, 84 players from the state of Illinois are now playing Division I hockey, and it's about time they had the opportunity or the option to play in their own backyard. Since 2007, 2008, no state has had a larger total increase in participation among USA Hockey affiliates. And when Matthew referenced Mr. Pegula, he is the name that always pops up as the example, as the illuminating, shining star of what can happen, of what all of this potential means, and the growth of a hockey program, what's happened at Penn State, and what can happen here at the University of Illinois. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I'd like to thank the NHL, Commissioner Bettman. Kevin Westgarth has been on this from day one, and it's very, very exciting for us to participate. We feel that with the success of the Blackhawks, obviously it spawned a lot of interest since Rocky Wirtz took over 10 years ago. The interest level is at an all-time high, and it is mercurial at the pace that we're going right now. So the opportunity is there, the timing is right, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you. With that, Athletic Director Josh Whittman.
I've been in the building about a half hour now. I haven't gotten traded yet, so we're doing okay. We're working okay. We're working on it. Just so many people to thank, as you can imagine. Our standing here today is the result of a lot of conversations, a lot of critical thinking, and ultimately a lot of collaboration. So I'm grateful to the NHL, the NHLPA, USA Hockey, and certainly to the Chicago Blackhawks for their assistance in bringing us to this point. Another organization that I think bears mentioning is College Hockey Inc. Mike Snee is one of the unsung heroes, I think, in this story, an organization that has been funded with the explicit purpose of growing college hockey, and the work that he has done with us really since I came on board in February of 2016 to further explore the opportunity that exists at the University of Illinois for hockey is notable and much, much appreciated. I think a question that a lot of people may ask is why hockey, why now at the University of Illinois? And I think that I understand the question. When I first walked in the door, again, almost a year and a half ago, Mike called me almost the first day and said, "What do you think about hockey?" And I said, I don't think so. A couple months later, another phone call. "What do you think about hockey?" And I said, "Look, I've got 21 varsity sports, 480 some odd athletes. We have a lot of challenges that we're facing every day." But as we started to talk more, and as we started to really dive into a culture of hockey and what exists within this sport, I started to see it for what it really was. And what excites me more than anything, and those of you in the room who know me, you know how competitive I am. I see the opportunity at the University of Illinois for us to be great at hockey. And if we're going to do something like this, we're going to be great at it. And you've heard from John and from others about the popularity of this sport within our state. Youth participation is off the charts. Number of Division I hockey players coming from this state. We have the Frozen Four here this year. We have the wonderful draft. And I really blame the Blackhawks for a lot of this. And so if none of this ends up coming to fruition, I'm going to be back talking to John because they've had just such unbelievable success here in the last number of years, and that has spiked interest in this great sport across our state. You see it on our campus down in Champaign-Urbana. Anytime the Hawks are playing, the bars, the restaurants, everything is full. Everybody's got their jerseys on. They're excited about what's happening here with hockey, and we want to try and take advantage of that. That all said, there are a lot more questions than answers at this point. Obviously, hockey is not an inexpensive proposition, and so we have a lot of road in front of us left to travel. But what I've learned is that there is this community around hockey that is incredibly passionate, vibrant group of people who are excited to see the game continue to grow. And you have to look no further than the gentleman who was sitting to my left, Mr. Pegula, to understand the opportunity that exists to take a program that hasn't existed, develop it and grow it to a place of national contention in a very short period of time. And so our hope is to tap into that community of people, to reach out to people who care about the game of hockey and present to them what we think is a very compelling case about why hockey makes sense at the University of Illinois. We don't know exactly where this journey is going to lead us, but I can tell you that we're incredibly humbled and grateful for the chance to be a part of it, and we're excited to see where this road ultimately takes us. So again, thanks very much for having us. We look forward to seeing where this goes, and with that, it gives me great pleasure to bring up Mr. Terry Pegula.
I may become a Blackhawks fan. John called me illuminating. When Kim and I first got and gave the contribution to Penn State in 2012, I thought we should have 3 objectives. One was obviously to create men's and women's Division I hockey programs at Penn State. The second was a stretch, but it worked, to encourage the Big Ten to form a Big Ten hockey conference, which I thought was a big step. And the third, obviously, is to bring youth hockey to the, in a bigger way, to the State College area and the surrounding area, and that's flourishing also. The university administration at first, I was telling Josh, was, you know, we had to do a little politicking, which, you know, money's scarce around schools, and, you know, the question of is this program going to support itself? How's it going to sustain itself? Well, 74 home games, 72 sellouts later, 104% of capacity, 7th in the nation nationally in attendance speaks for itself. And I think Guy Godowski's here. He deserves a pat on the back for the Big Ten championship, tournament championship this year, and that #1 ranking that his team achieved for a while this season. So these are all great things that, in a place where there was just club hockey, so it's quite an incredible thing. I think one thing that NCAA hockey that we all forget about is the first goal in Pegula Arena was scored by a kid named Nate Jensen, who was a Minnesota native. His dad's here tonight. And that was October 11th, 2013. Nate is a petroleum economics graduate from Penn State, and he now works for me in my oil and gas business. Nothing to do with the gold, trust me. But I find it interesting that NCAA hockey, the NCAA hockey road can lead in 2 places, a hockey career or a career in business, which is what Nate's doing now. So we in the NHL, we're all proud of and support NCAA hockey. Thank you. I need to tell you that Pat Kelleher is coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very exciting day for hockey with this news and all the other things that will be happening and taking place here tonight. We're very excited to be a part of it. I'll first recognize one of our leading female athletes here, Megan Bozek, a Buffalo Grove, Illinois native, played her college hockey at the University of Minnesota. One of our leading players in the women's team. I'm glad you could be here, Megan. You know, college hockey has a very important place on our ladder of development. As we bring kids into youth sports and youth hockey specifically, we need to make sure they have the best experience they possibly can with our game. When we do that successfully, they stay in the game. You've heard some of the numbers talked about and the growth of the game and all the things we're working on together. We have to make sure that first experience is important and really beneficial to these kids. We rely on an army of volunteers across the country to do that. We wouldn't be where we are without the work of so many selfless volunteers who give back to our game. We've made significant progress in a relatively short period of time. It wasn't that long ago in the U.S. and USA Hockey, we talked about the 3 M's for players coming from Mass, Michigan, or Minnesota. Now, through the efforts of, again, our volunteers, the Amateur Hockey Association of Illinois, Chicago Blackhawks, John McDonough, his team, Rocky Wirtz, Stan Bowman, Annie Kamens, Illinois is now the 6th largest state in the U.S. in hockey participation. They've done an incredible job around here, making sure the game grows. The product on the ice obviously certainly helps with the Blackhawks' success. But it's been a special time to see everything continue to grow throughout here, and we certainly hope things with the University of Illinois would only just add fuel to the fire that they've created here in Chicagoland. We've had a record year of growth, as Matthew alluded to. Over 115,800 players registered in USA Hockey, the most we've ever had, and almost an 8% bump from last year at this time. For sure, the Learn to Play program that the NHL and the NHLPA have funded has been an incredible igniter to that growth. We wouldn't be at those numbers without the efforts that they put in. And again, with the people that we have on the ground level, and then the other leagues that we work with, the American Hockey League, the United States Hockey League, North American Hockey League, everyone in college hockey, Mikey College Hockey Inc. It's great to see all the collaboration for everybody. If we didn't work together, I don't think we would achieve these sort of numbers and this sort of success. So it's a credit, I think, to everyone here, sitting up here, and everyone across the country that's involved in youth hockey. From youth hockey and our ladder of development, we go up through high school and junior hockey, and then even our national team development program, all important pieces of our American development model, so we can do the best for every athlete at whatever age category they're in and make sure they have a great experience and great developmental path for hockey. College hockey is a special piece, not only for athletes and the games and everything, the excitement on campuses, but it's one of the leading sports as far as graduation rates in college athletics. Both men's and women's hockey programs graduate more than 90% of their athletes. Really a tribute, I think, to our sport, but also all the young men and women across the country that play it and get into college hockey programs. As I think Commissioner Bettman mentioned earlier, 32% of the NHL players this year were people that had experience in NCAA hockey. Again, that's a big number that continues to grow every year. This initiative, that we're talking about today with the University of Illinois will have huge benefits here in the state, but across the country. Hopefully, again, as Mr. Pegula did with Penn State, maybe start some other programs to look into college hockey and see how we can provide more opportunities for young boys and young girls to play at the collegiate level, to give them a dream to chase and something to strive for. So we couldn't do this alone. As I mentioned earlier, the great partners that we have at USA Hockey, the league, the Players Association, the clubs like the Blackhawks and the Sabres, and hopefully even more college hockey programs as we go. So on behalf of USA Hockey, our president Jim Smith, who's here and another Illinois native in the room, we appreciate everyone. We'd like to thank the league and the Players Association, especially for the things they're doing to grow the game.